takes you right back to the kitchen. You can almost smell the cake that your grandma made on your birthday.
Have you ever laid on your back under a poplar tree, thinking about all your memories, looking at the sky, wondering why this feels like home?
Like a Tennessee river in the morning takes your breath without a wall.
Feels like home.
Like smoke rising up from the mountains, all the beauty surrounds.
Feels like home.
Like Elvis and Dolly singing a melody that's bringing you home. 'Cause it feels like home.
Feels like home. Feels like home.
Have you ever been driving down the highway, looking at the sunset? It'll make you forget all the troubles every day can bring.
Have you ever been staring up at the starlight, getting pretty close to midnight? It sounds just like the wind is singing your name. Feels like home.
Like a Tennessee river in the morning takes your breath without a wall.
Feels like home.
Like smoke rising up from the mountains, all the beauty surrounds.
Feels like home.
Like Elvis and Dolly singing a melody that's bringing you home. 'Cause it feels like home.
Feels like home. Feels like home. Feels like home. Feels like home. Feels like home. Feels like home. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, Envision Community Church. My name is Heather Lynn. Pronouns are she, they. And this is Haley right here. And yeah. And we just are so glad that we're here together. That's a good thing, right? How beautiful and good that is that we're gathered together. And that was the first of two gathering songs because right now the Global Branch is in the house with us. So let's give a nice shout out to the Global Branch. Let them hear our love and interconnection. Grateful for you, Global Branch. If you have not said hello in the comments, please do so. And please feel free to share this live stream and invite others to join in with us in this time together. All you all here in the chapel, please feel free to make yourself at home. Make yourself cozy on a couch or a comfy chair or a pew. Help yourself to some delicious coffee or hot tea in the back. It's great. I don't even drink coffee this time of day, but once in a while on a Sunday night. If you are here for the very first time, thank you so much for being brave and coming out and trying something new. We'd love to hear from you. So there are newcomer cards on little clipboards around this space. So if you'd like to share your info and thoughts on that, and then just hold on to that and you can tuck it into an offering bag later on in our time together. And during this next song, Jason, do we have lyrics for this next song? Okay, beautiful. So you're welcome. Again, just help yourself to a hot beverage, make yourself at home. You can also feel free to sing along this beautiful invitation to come away from rush and hurry to the stillness of God's peace. Come away from rush and hurry to the stillness of God's peace. From our vain ambitions worry, come to Christ and find release. Come away from noise and clamor, life's demands and frenzied pace. Come to join the people gathered here to seek and find God's face. In the pastures of God's goodness, we lie down to rest our souls. From the waters of her mercy, we drink deeply, are made whole. At the table of her presence, all the saints are richly fed with the oil of love's anointing. Into service we are led. Come then, children, with your burdens, life's confusions, fears and pain. Leave them at the feet of Jesus. Take instead the heavens' rain. Bring your thirst, for He will quench them. He so freely gives. All our longings find attunement when our lives in Him we live. May all our longings find attunement as our lives we live in Him. Amen.
Logan must be really tall. This stand is super tall. Welcome to Envision Community Church. My name is Christy. My pronouns are she, her. And Paula is away this week speaking at the Envision Faith Conference, I believe in Minneapolis. Evolving faith,
Yeah.
I mean. Sorry, I don't
they're
remember
both
even
E-words.
what I said, but whatever. Yes. Anyway, so we pray for safe travels for her, which means that we are really lucky to have a guest preacher today, Logan Robertson is here. He's a pastor at After Hours Church in Denver, and if you have not checked it out, I would encourage you to look at their webpage or ask him questions. I did look up their current mission just to make sure it hadn't changed, but their mission is to put more love into the world by providing necessities for people who need them, especially the homeless, and by creating places where all are welcome. They do meet in a bar. They do service projects. Do you make sandwiches every week, I think, right? Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And I think the phrase on the front page of the website pretty much also says it all with, church is great except when it sucks. So I love that. Amen. Yes. So each week we say our ethos, married, divorced, and single here. It's one family that mingles here. Conservative and liberal here, we've all got to give a little here. Big and small here, there is room for us all here. Doubt and believe here, we all can receive here. LGBTQ plus and straight here, there is no hate here. Woman, non-binary, and man here, everyone can here. Whatever your race here, for all of us, grace here. In imitation of the ridiculous love Almighty God has for each of us and all of us, let us live and love without labels. Amen.
Amen.
All right, let's worship.
All right. Let's stand as each is able and willing, standing from your feet or from your seat and in your heart. Really, this is a sign and a symbol of embodying presence together. It also gives you more room to breathe if you want to sing. So let's lift up our hearts to God who is love, bringing all the things, all of it, every state of being, everything that has concerned you and weighed on you this week, whether it be the troubles of the world or troubles at home. And let's bring the good stuff too, right? I love this song because it sounds to me like it comes from the Psalms. It sounds a little bit lamenty to me, and yet there's joy in the music of it. And so it sort of feels like there's this calling forward, this hopefulness in the midst of acknowledging what is painful in life. So as you're able and willing and desire, add your voice to this song.
Oh, the desert dreams of a river that will run down to the sea. Like my heart longs for an ocean to wash down over me. Oh, won't you take me from this valley to the mountain high above? I will pray, pray, pray till I see your smiling face. I will pray, pray, pray to the one I love. Oh, the outcast dreams of acceptance, just to find pure love's embrace. Like an orphan longs for his mother, may you hold me in your grace. Oh, won't you take me from this valley to that mountain high above? Oh, I will pray, pray, pray till I see your smiling face. I will pray, pray to the one I love. Oh, the caged bird dreams of a strong wind that will flow beneath her wings. Like a voice longs for a melody. Oh, Jesus, carry me. Oh, to take me from this valley to the mountain high above. I will pray, pray, pray till I see your smiling face. I will pray, pray, pray to the one I love. I will pray, pray, pray till I see your smiling face. I will pray, pray, pray to the one I love.
Let's pray together, if you will. God, who is love, most compassionate one, you see all. You see the depths of our hearts. You see what we hold there. You see what we carry. You see the fire in our bellies. You see the currents that flow through our minds. And we ask for your love and your tenderness, your wisdom and your grace to abide. Let us know your presence within and without, especially as we are aware of the suffering in our world and the great need for peace and healing locally and globally. Give us eyes to see with your love. Give us hearts with faith to believe your touch. And let our minds perceive your glorious dreams for your kingdom of heaven here on earth, and how you would call us to rise and participate in creating your most beautiful legacy while we're here, while we're journeying through. Thank you. Thank you. Give me eyes to see with your love. Let my heart believe your touch. May my mind perceive your glorious dreams, and my life with you make a beautiful legacy. Be thou my vision, O Lord of my heart, not be all else to me save that thou art. Thou my best thought by day or by night, waking or sleeping, thy presence my life. Give me eyes to see with your love. Let my heart believe your touch. May my mind perceive your glorious dreams, and my life with you make a beautiful legacy. Be thou my wisdom, and thou my true word, abiding in grace, your impeccable work, bearing the burden of freedom's call, unresting until there is justice for all. Give me eyes to see with your love. Let my heart believe your touch. May my mind perceive your glorious dreams, and my life with you make a beautiful legacy. Riches I heed not, nor vain empty praise. Thou mine inheritance now and always, source of all life and a song in my heart. Before all possessions, my treasure thou art. Give me eyes to see with your love. legacy, and my life with you make a beautiful legacy. Amen. Amen. The peace of Christ to you, beloved ones, the peace of Christ to your hearts, minds, and bodies. Go ahead and take a deep breath. Draw that peace into your nervous system from the top of your head right down to your toes. And let's share a sign of Christ's peace together tonight, greeting one another in the name of love. Or if you're an introvert and this makes you uncomfortable and not peaceful, feel free to take a bathroom break. I haven't said anything like that in a while, so. Global Branch, peace to you. Hope you're keeping well. If you haven't yet said hello in the comments, I know many of you already do this automatically, but if you haven't yet said hello, please do so, because we love to know that you're here, and that is how we know you're here. It's also very cool, like a lot of people might know where everybody lives, but we might not know where you live. So if you'd like to share where on this globe you are tuning in from, that would also be great to know, because someone here might not know that about you. It really is beautiful to know that you truly are a global branch, and I love that. And again, if you haven't shared the live stream yet, please feel free to share the live stream, maybe with a line about why this is meaningful to you, why Envision Community Church is meaningful to you, and just a genuine invitation is a beautiful thing. So, what's your last name? Do you want me to say your last name?
Yeah, Robertson.
Robertson. Yo, we got a Logan Robertson right here. I'll let you take it away.
Yes, I'm Logan Robertson. It's so good to be with you tonight. It's always an honor to be asked to preach anywhere, to come in to a room as a relative stranger. And so thank you for trusting me with this space and with this community. So that's my thank you to Envision. Also thank you to Mara and Christy, which is kind of my connection here, which is really a connection through my wife. So I pretty much just follow her around through life, and it's worked out so far so good. So that's going to continue being my plan. So I want to talk a little bit about After Hours Denver, because that's the church that I serve in Denver. And as Christy said, the mission is to put more love into the world, by providing necessities for people who need them. We can draw that kind of broadly, but specifically what we mean is for people who experience homelessness. And we create places where all are welcome. Those places that we create are inside of bars and bar/restaurants around Denver. We meet in a different bar each week. Every Monday night at 7 p.m., and you would be more than welcome to join us. If you start going to church twice a week, people might think you're a fanatic, so just be careful. But we'd love to have you. It's a fun group of people. It's a completely inclusive, reconciling, LGBTQ plus affirming church. And every night that we meet, each week, we make 100 lunches. And those lunches we serve to homeless folks in the city the next day. That's kind of our call to worship, is making lunches. We have a drink, we share our lives together, and we call that church. So as often as I can, I get out into the city on my own and kind of go on pilgrimage. That's kind of how I like to think about it. I visit camps and parks where homeless folks gather, and I look for longtime friends, people who I've known for, some of them for a decade, and new folks who I've never met. And I give out socks and water and just try to build relationships. Sometimes when I know that when a camp, an unsanctioned camp, is going to be swept, what the city of Denver calls a camp resolution, I try to visit those camps. I go to be in solidarity with my friends on the streets. I try to go to just be a calm presence in a tense situation. I go to pray, which usually feels pretty lame. And I don't really go in protest, but I just go to simply witness. And recently I visited such a sweep, or a camp resolution if you want, at 8th and Logan in the Cap Hill neighborhood of Denver. You may be familiar with that neighborhood. And people had been camping at 8th and Logan for maybe 5 months. That camp had been there for a while. Just around the corner, there's kind of a parking lot there. So they set up all the way around the corner. And there were maybe 50 people who had lived there for 5 months. They have all their worldly possessions, and they would be forced to move off of that space. Some would be offered housing, others would be offered space at a hotel, some would be offered space at a sanctioned camp, a safe outdoor space, and still others would simply have to move along. Move along to where is what one of my homeless friends used to say. But as I stood there and watched, someone approached me and asked if I could help him. And that reminds me, I use the pronouns he, him, his. If I would help him move across the street, because that's where he had been directed to go. And I said yes. I was actually pretty glad to have something concrete to do. So I crossed the street. I helped him with his bags and his wagon. And I turned around and I looked back at this encampment, kind of sprawled across the corner. And I saw all the folks who had lived there for months. I saw the human services workers there who were there to help connect people with resources, the sanitation workers who were there to deal with garbage, and of course the police officers who were there to enforce the sweep. And as I stood there and looked across the street at the gathered tents, I was visited by this question. It just occurred to me. Or maybe God put it on my heart. How should we view this camp? How should we view this camp? And how do others view this camp? Now, by and large, the well-meaning liberal government, the police, social workers, nonprofits, and of course the public at large see it as a problem to be solved, underlined. A problem to be solved. But my question is this: can we not see it as beautiful? Can we not see these unsanctioned camps as a place of relative safety, of refuge, of agency, of warmth, of community, and of belonging? And as I stood there, I thought of this scripture. It's from the Old Testament. It's from Numbers 24, verses 1 through 7. It goes like this. Balaam saw that it pleased the Lord to bless the Israelites, so he didn't go as the other times to seek omens. Instead, he turned toward the desert. Balaam looked up and saw Israel camping, tribe by tribe. Then God's Spirit came on him, and he raised his voice and made this address, saying, "The oracle of Balaam, Beor's son, the oracle of a man whose eye is open, the oracle of one who hears God's speech, who perceives the Almighty's visions, who falls down with eyes uncovered. How beautiful are your tents, Jacob, your camps, Israel. Like palm groves that stretch out, like gardens next to a river, like eaglewood trees that the Lord has planted, like cedar trees next to the water. Water will drip from her branches. Her seed will have plenty of water. Her king will be higher than Agag, and her kingdom will be lifted up." So any other Balaam fans in the house tonight? Show of hands? Just me. So some context for this passage. The Israelites are on the move. And for the rest of the sermon, I think it bears saying that when we talk about Israel and the Israelites, we're not talking about the modern state of Israel that's in the news right now, right? We're talking about the Hebrew people who left bondage in Egypt, who wandered in the desert for 40 years and who had this idea of a promised place, a place that God would bring them. So really what they are is a group of refugees. And this group of refugees is coming out of the desert, and they've come to the border of Moab, the land of the Moabites. Now, this makes the Moabite king a little bit nervous because the Israelites have overrun a couple of other kingdoms on their way out of the desert. And Balak, the king, he sends for a man named Balaam. Now, Balaam is a prophet. He's a seer. He's a wise man. He's maybe even a magician. You can kind of think of him as like a wizard. If you imagine Gandalf, you're not that far off, okay? So the king asked Balaam the wizard to curse the Israelites. And initially Balaam says, God is telling me not to go. So he's had a little vision before the king's messengers show up, in which God told him, you can't curse the Israelites because they're my blessed people. The people among these refugees are God's people. But eventually Balaam saddles his donkey and he goes with the king's messengers. Most Bibles title this story Balaam's ass, which I think is too good not to mention in church. But he saddles his donkey, he goes with the king's messengers, and along the way, the donkey stops cold. Balaam can't figure out why. We're told that the donkey sees the angel of the Lord in the road with a drawn sword. Balaam can't see this, but the donkey can. And donkeys are notoriously stubborn animals, so when Balaam strikes the donkey doesn't move. Balaam strikes the donkey 3 times, and rather than move in the road, the donkey just falls down. Then, and this is my favorite part of the story, God gives the animal the power of speech, of course. This doesn't happen that often in the Bible. And the donkey asks, what did I ever do to you that you're hitting me? And Balaam says, you're mocking me by standing in the road. If I had a sword, I would kill you. And then, just then, the angel of the Lord appears, makes itself visible to Balaam, and says, this donkey saved your life. If you had continued on the road, I would have killed you and saved the donkey because you go out to oppose my people. At this, Balaam repents, and the angel of the Lord says, you can go on your way, but only if you say what I tell you to say. So Balaam eventually meets the king. He says, you've brought me here to curse the Israelites, but just know this, I don't use my own words when I prophesy. I only say what God tells me to say. And 3 times the king tries to convince Balaam to curse the Israelites. Takes him to 3 places. The first 2 times, Balaam sacrifices animals, he says all the right prayers, and then he tries to read the omens in a way that the king wants. He really tries his best, but he can't get himself to curse the Israelites. And the 3rd time, the time described in the passage we hear today, Balaam doesn't offer up sacrifices or look for omens. He simply raises his eyes and looks out into the desert. He sees the Israelites gathered at their camp on the border. And I think we have to imagine, what does he see? What does he see when he stands beside his king? I think we have to imagine that he sees with his physical eyes exactly what the king sees. He sees a horde of people, men armed to the teeth, thousands of families with hungry mouths and empty bellies, ready to strip the land bare. An invading force, ready to use the riches of the kingdom for themselves. But importantly, Balaam doesn't just see with his physical eyes. He sees with the eyes of his heart. Because of his relationship with God, Balaam has fallen in love with God's people. So the story that we hear about homelessness in the news and from government and police and even service providers is that homelessness is a capital P problem. To take shelter outside in public space is, in many ways, a pretty terrible way to live. Life expectancy for homeless men in the United States is only 56 years old. Just on Thursday, I memorialized a man who died at 47 on the streets in an alleyway behind a building. People who experience chronic homelessness, they live without stable relationships. They live without the guarantee of safety and without clear purpose. They seem to wander from place to place in search of something or nothing. They depend on the appearance of food, either delivered by charity or literally thrown away as garbage by society. And to view this way of living with the eyes of the king of Moab is to see a problem to be fixed, even something to be cursed, and there are plenty of people out there who believe it's something to be cursed. And let us compare the people experiencing homelessness in our community to the Israelite wanderings through the desert following their escape in the bondage of Egypt. The Israelites don't have a place of their own. They take shelter outside in tents. They don't know where they're going, and they barely know where they came from. They wandered the desert for 40 years without clear purpose or goal. They don't create any food for themselves. They depend utterly on the miraculous appearance of manna from heaven in their camp each morning. And for water, they rely on the miraculous appearance of springs coming out of rocks. When they make contact with civilized society, they're viewed as a dangerous problem, a threat, even something to be cursed. And yet, when Balaam looks out at the Israelite camp, he can't say anything except, these are God's blessed people. There's nothing else he can say. How is this possible? It's possible because he sees not with his own eyes, but with the eyes of his heart. And what is it to see with the eyes of the heart? It's more than a feeling. It's more than a sentiment or a conviction. In his letter to the Ephesians, Paul writes, I pray that the eyes of your heart may be opened, in order that you may know the hope to which God has called you, the riches of her glorious inheritance in her holy people. Paul says that those who see with the eyes of the heart have a great power. He says it's a power so great that it's the same power that God used to raise Christ from the dead. So to see with the eyes of the heart is a resurrection power. It's a power of hope. To see with the eyes of the heart is to fall in love with humanity, even at its most desperate. Can you imagine Balaam looking out at the people of Israel and seeing something like an enormous, sprawling homeless encampment? Now, you may have seen encampments on the streets of Denver, maybe even here in Longmont. Of course, we also get beamed pictures and video of encampments in places like Los Angeles, San Francisco, Portland, Austin. There's no shortage of these images to contend with. And even a single person experiencing homelessness, if they get in the mood to empty and organize their belongings, can create a pretty big mess. And Balaam looks out at scenes like this and calls them blessed. And frankly, I wish that I could do the same, like this sermon is for me. I admit that what I see is desperation. I see garbage. I see addiction, mental illness, trauma, tragedy, disease, even danger. The eyes of my heart are too weak to see very far beyond what my regular old human eyes see. So how do you see the camp of the people of Israel? Before making a judgment, do you check in with God about it? Do you take a moment to get in touch with the source of your being, the source of all being? Does your humanity give you pause? Does it force you to breathe and ask, how should I react to this? Or maybe you cast about for reasons that people are in the camp. Do you try to make it make sense? Do you look for reasons that people are there and make it merely a problem to solve? Make those people a problem to solve? Do you look for any reason to curse the encampment on the border or on the corner, as Balaam did? Or have you allowed your sight to be overtaken by the power of resurrection? Do you look out at the world with eyes full of the hope of Christ? Have you fallen in love with humanity like Balaam has? Do you merely see with the eyes of the world or with the eyes of your heart? Amen? Amen. Thank you.
Let's thank Logan. Those are really worthy and valuable questions to contemplate from our hearts. This song, Jack Riddle, was written by a friend of mine about someone she encountered in the Appalachian Mountains. So as we're attuning our hearts to see with love, let's also just kind of go on a little imaginative journey to the Appalachian Mountains and meet this man named Jack, all right? There's a simple little part you can sing along if you like. The words are real simple. It's like ba-da-ba-ba. All right. This is how it goes. Yeah, you got it. All right, we'll come back to that part. My name is Jack Riddle, and I sit on a bench at Parkway in March, watching all the people pass me by. Here we go. Yeah, you got it. People here stay the same, you know, the same old game, the same old show. The rich stay rich and the poor stay low, you know. Here we go. They say that I can't stay here. They say my hands don't touch this sky. They say that I can't stay. And they say, and they say, and they say. But my name is Jack, and I have this little song in my heart. And we know how it goes, kind of. Here we go. Ba-da-ba-ba, 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 ba-da-ba-ba. Folks here stay away from me. They tell me I need more to my feet. Comb your hair, Jack, rub the dirt away from the seams. I'll stay in my heart by my West Virginia stream. Don't you worry, I'll stay away. Perhaps my Lord might visit me today. Oh, oh, oh. They say that I can't stay here. They say my hands don't touch this sky. They say that I can't stay. And they say, and they say, and they say. But my name is Jack. My name is Jack Riddle. My name is Jack, and you know where I'll be. Singing that song in my heart. Ba-da-ba-ba, 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 ba-da-ba-ba. Yeah, good old Jack teaching us with his story. Let's worship together now with our gifts, our offerings, all of the ways to give and participate in life and ministry through Envision Community Church. That's us, locally and globally. All those ways are listed at our website, envisioncommunitychurch.org/give. If you so choose and are able and feel called to set up a recurring gift there, that would be amazing. That helps us. This isn't a play on words. It does help envision. It helps cast vision. It helps strategize to, move towards that vision. If you'd like to text a one-time donation, you could do that now to the number 84321 or use paypal.me/ECCGIF. Is it gift? Gift with a FT. Okay, all right.
I think.
I think
I
so.
don't know. Now you're making me guess. Is it give?
Did we get it right? Yeah.
Gift.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll just have to check the notes once in a while when I operate from memory. And of course, I think there are bags going around.
It's actually going to sit on the shelf, and you can hit it on your way out.
Okay.
If you'd like to drop a donation in the blue bag that's on the black shelf, that would be awesome too.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather Lynn.
Yeah.
Thanks, Logan. What a great message. And yeah, it was beautiful and timely. We had a group from our church volunteer yesterday for 4 hours at a shelter in Boulder who is housing youth and young adults experiencing homelessness. So it was a wonderful service project. Thank you, August, for heading that up. It was really good. If you're joining us virtually, please gather elements and participate in communion with us at this time. In times of uncertainty, Jesus stays with us, guiding our lives. God never promised us that the way would be clear. We were created in the image of the one who is wisdom, who is love, who is courage. Through the life of Jesus, we saw an example of what it means to navigate an uncertain path, practice creative ministry, and face with courage and compassion all the barriers that work against our spirit. Jesus lived and breathed a ministry rooted in love for all people. He prioritized the lives of those who are suffering and showed us what it looks like to be with and for one another, even under great distress. On the night in which he was arrested, he gathered among his friends for a meal. He took bread, gave thanks to God, broke the bread, and shared it with his disciples, saying, "Take, eat, this is my body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me." When the supper was over, he took the cup, gave thanks to God, gave it to his disciples, and said, "Drink from this, all of you. This is the cup of the new covenant, a promise for the redemption of all people. Do this as often as you drink it in remembrance of me." And so, in remembrance of Christ with us and in the assurance of God's love, we offer our lives, our ministries, and our church in the service of God's healing work. May we leave this table both nourished by God's love and still hungry for justice for all people. Virtual folks, please take whatever elements you have. Feel free to share what those are in the comments, and I invite the rest of you to come up as you are ready. I forgot the part about the open, inclusive nature of our church and communion. I apologize for forgetting that. Everyone, without exception, is always welcome to enjoy communion. If you prefer not to, we also have a bank of candles in the back of the room. You can light a candle, say a prayer, you can write in the prayer journal, and Logan is going to be off to the side, and he will pray with you. If you would just like a simple blessing from him, come with your arms crossed, and he will be on the side for you. Now I offer that you come as you are ready.
Place at the table for everyone born, clean water and bread, a shelter, a space, a safe place for growing, for everyone born, a star overhead. For woman and man, a place at the table, revising the roles, deciding the share, in wisdom and grace, dividing the power for all of our genders, a system that's fair. And God will delight when we are creators of justice and joy. Justice and joy. Yes, God will delight when we are creators of justice and joy, of compassion and peace. For young and for old, a place at the table, a voice to be heard and a part in the song. The hands of a child in hands that are wrinkled, for everyone born, oh, the right to belong. For queer and for straight, a place at the table, a covenant shared and a welcoming space, a rainbow of race, of gender and color, for queer and for straight, oh, the chalice of grace. Get ready to shout justice and joy. And God will delight when we are creators of justice and joy. Justice and joy. Yes, God will delight when we are creators of justice and joy, of compassion and peace. Yes, God will delight when we are creators of justice and joy. Justice and joy. Yes, God will delight when we are creators of justice and joy, of compassion and peace. For everyone born, a place at the table, to live without fear and simply to be, to work, to speak out, to witness and worship, for everyone born, oh, the right to be free. Amen? Amen. Let's welcome Shannon. Announcements.
Oh, that's so embarrassing. Okay, we have a full page of announcements. Okay, come join a lively and open discussion with other ECCers about Diana Bass Butler's book, Freeing Jesus. Bass writes about how we can look at the Jesus of history, the Christ of faith, and the Jesus of experience. let's talk about our own ideas about Jesus, sharing our faith, our lives, and our questions together. This is led by Lonnie Pierce, not here tonight, but the group will meet in person, and the next meeting is on October 17th, so this Tuesday. And there will also be a separate online gathering to discuss the book on October 25th in place of the regularly scheduled global branch gathering. And attention youth, if you are in grades 6 through 12, join us for youth group. Our next meeting will be this Wednesday, the 18th, from 6 to 8 p.m. And then next Sunday, the 22nd, we will have a Autumn Letting Go circle after service. And we'll spend the first half together in discussion and sharing around the theme of letting go, which mirrors the season we are in. And if you're able to, please read the short 3-minute article titled Letting Go is Liberation by Richard Rohr, and that's in the Facebook invite or on our webpage. And for the last half of our time together, we'll go out to the courtyard back here, and we'll do a simple ritual with fire and paper. So dress appropriately for spending a little bit of time outside, and also feel free to bring a snack for yourself or to share and a beverage. And then, contemplative services back. Join us on Tuesday, October 24th at 7 p.m. here in the chapel for a time of centering prayer and creative contemplative exercises. And we're going to do a fall potluck after church in the fellowship hall on Sunday, November 12th, and also hold the date for Friday, December 8th for an all-church Christmas party. Details to come later. We are still in need of volunteers to serve with the children once a month. If you're interested in that, contact Christy or Paula. And there's also a sign-up whiteboard back there. And Justin, our youth minister, is going to be starting a Facebook page for families with teens. Please let him know if you'd like to be included on that page. You can email him at justin@envisioncommunitychurch.org. And all this information is on our Facebook page and website. Thanks.
Thank you, Shannon. I love announcements because it's a celebration of community. It makes me really happy. Yeah. I'll go ahead and share one more invitation, if that's all right. All right. Thank you for the affirmation and encouragement. I appreciate you. It is hard for me to make announcements like this sometimes, so I do appreciate that. You might know I recently released a brand new album. Yeah? Okay. So if you haven't listened to it yet, please find it wherever you stream or download it's digitally released worldwide. So Heather Lynn's Musical Apothecary is the new album. I would love for you to connect to my music anyway. And the real invitation for the actual physical event is this Friday. So this Friday, October 20th in Denver at Enigma Bazaar, which is called a mystical art bar. It's quite magical. We will have the album release party with 2 other incredible queer artists, happens to be a fully queer lineup that night, and they're incredible. Sarah Adams reminds me of Brandi Carlile, and Jordan Derringer is this soulful singer with a multi-instrumentalist. He's amazing as well. So I would love for you to come and celebrate with us. It's a big deal. This is my biggest show of the year. That's why I'm making a big deal out of it in this moment. Full band. It's going to be a really incredible night, and your presence would mean so much. Okay? Where do we get tickets? Okay, so the fastest thing for me to say is my link. No, my website, heatherlynnmusic.com/events. I actually updated my event page. So yeah. I'm terrible at those things, but I did it. So Heather Lynn is spelled with one N. So heatherlynnmusic.com/events. You can find the album release, the link to the Eventbrite to get tickets. I would love to see you there. Okay, thank you so much for listening to me share that. I want to welcome you to stand as each is able and willing. let's sing this beautiful little song. We actually haven't sung this together for a year, so it might be a little bit new to you, but no worries. Just if it catches you, sing along. Lost and weary traveler, searching for the way to go. Stranger, heavy-hearted, longing for someone you know. May you find a light. May you find a light. May you find a light to guide you home. There are weary travelers searching everywhere you go. Strangers who are searching, longing deeply to be known. May you find a light. May you find a light. May you find a light to guide you home. May you find a light. May you find a light. May you find a light to guide you home. Dear ones, on days when you struggle to find a light, know that the light will find you. And remember how much Jesus believes in you. He even said, "You are the light of the world." So in everyday life, in your walking, your waking, your sleeping, your working, your playing, with all that might pull you away from your heart, try to remember to take a moment to touch back, even to touch your heart and go, "You are good. Guide me home." Yeah? Let's go in peace to love and serve our neighbor, our enemy, ourselves, one another, and God who is love. Amen?